Hey Techies, this is MDP Tech, and today I want to talk about one special thing that I bought in my tech collection this month was the Sony Alpha A7 II camera. To start, I want to talk about the one major flaw, which kind of works, but in this year 2021 there's much better suitable cameras like Sony A6100 or Sony ZV-E10 with interchangeable lenses, the vlogging camera, which can not only have good quality autofocus, but it can also produce 4K video. So the autofocus uses around 160 autofocus points, and it uses hybrid system. I'm not getting to the details of the system, but this autofocus system, either it lacks a little bit of points, or either it lacks on the software side. It not completely works for video like on the newer cameras, because it came the camera Sony A7 Mark II came in 2014. Of course, it was the whole different scene on that day, but it's really good camera. But autofocus is the one place where I cannot give it like 5 out of 5. I probably give it 3 out of 5 because I used not full frame cameras but other cropped sensor cameras, and their autofocus was way worse. It was almost better to use manual. So let's talk about the manual focus then. The manual focus has pixel peaking, which it's really helpful when you wanna focus. You just have these red dots where and it shows you where the focus is. So you can just visualize where the real focus is. It's useful because you can change the color. You can change the white or red color. I think there's another color, but I don't want to talk about that because I never tried it. So at least 2 colors there's really. Then we kind of finish with autofocus. So I want to talk about the lens. I get a kit lens, 28 to 60 millimeters, f.4 to 5.6. It's kind of the budget-friendly full frame Sony kit lens, which autofocus works kind of fast if you shoot photos, not on video. On video it smooths out, it's like much more slower. Yeah, I like that you have the ability to exhume if you compare 28 to 60. It's very neat when you wanna frame your picture, you know, when you have this white picture of 28 millimeters and you wanna shorten it up so you can just do it very quickly, and you have that ability. So as a lens which is very cheap, of course it has optical stabilization built inside, so it goes quite well with the camera's built-in stabilization, which is really good. It's really good compared to A7, the Mark I. So the stabilization of the camera itself is very good. But of course, if you shoot pro, you go with the tripod. If you not shoot in the city or moving, so you almost always use tripod. So it's helpful if you're shooting and you're moving in a city. For example, I don't know. People know more examples, but I never do it. So my examples like that. If you want to have little less versatile lens, which you want to have better quality and more light, which is then buy the 50mm f 2.8 Sony lens, which is the budget. It's like there's some term about it. It's like cheap, good for everything. Not good for everything, but just cheap good lenses. 50mm f.2.8. So I recommend that. Let's talk about photos. The photos of this camera is amazing. The sensor catches colors like they should. They're sharp. They're not oversaturated. Everything sits right where it needs to be, and you don't need to play with the settings to get what you want. You almost get it out of the box. So I recommend it if you want just to shoot pictures, just point and shoot. Get Sony Alpha A7 Mark II. Probably would be better go for the A7 Mark III to have a better autofocus system, but this autofocus system is really good. So you can go with this autofocus system. It's really, really good for the price. I like the Panorama. The software side of the Panorama on the Sony A7 Mark II is very, very good. You get good quality panorama pictures, even when you compress to a lower size like 1080p or something. It's really good. It's really sharp. I really like it. Even though I made it with the kit lens, it is really good. f.4 on 28mm is it's quite good, with a full frame sensor, of course. Then if we go to the video side, I'm kinda liking it, and at the same time I kinda don't. What I like about it is that we have picture profiles. We have S-Log2, we have S-Gamma. We can color grade our videos, and we make them appear black colors darker and colors more rich. I really like this function. The color grading on Sony A7 Mark II is really good. And even though standard profile looks very good, very sharp. So I think almost everyone can find good quality video. The problem is that this camera doesn't have 4K, and almost all videos nowadays is 4K, and the resolution does mean something. You can't really zoom too much because you start to see flaws in that. So if you want to have a good camera video for 500 to 700 to 800 euros, I suggest to go with a A60-100 or a Sony ZV-E10 with interchangeable E-mount lenses, just to have a 4K 24 frames and without no crop, even though the sensor is cropped there, but the 4K isn't cropped more. So I really suggest you, if you want to go with the 4K for this price range, go with that. Don't go with the Canon M50. Don't go with the Canon M50 Mark II, because the autofocus is amazing on M50 with the dual pixel autofocus. But the problem is that if you gonna went for Canon M50, you don't have 4K, and that just gets me why to have a cropped sensor, APS-C cropped sensor camera, when you can just buy Sony A7 Mark II for 580 euros. Of course, it's not always like that. The average price now is 1,000, but you can really get it cheaper. And why I told 580? Because Canon M50 Mark 1 costs 580, so it's comparable cameras, and they both have full HD video. Of course, M50 has a better autofocus, but it doesn't have full frame. It doesn't have Sony full frame lenses, so it's pluses and minuses. And as I said, no 4K on the Sony A7 Mark II, so that's a big downside for me, or you, if you want to create YouTube videos and such. But full HD is really good enough. Your phones, most of the phones, 1440p max resolution, often goes full HD. And on this little screens that we're looking, it's kind of still okay. Of course, it would be better to have 4K on the cameras, but 4K costs. 4K costs. Then we can go to the build quality, and the build quality of this thing is amazing. The magnesium chassis, it's light, it's hard, it's protected from the dust, it's protected a little bit from the water, not a lot, a little bit, and it's protected from the sand too. It may vary on the lenses, because some lenses has more protection, some lenses has less. So you can go and shoot in the rain, but just don't think that you can go into the water and put this camera inside. No, don't do it. And let's compare prices when it was new and now. When it was new, MSRP was $16.99, normal price, full frame camera, with the 60 plus lenses to choose from, more professional, more basic. Yeah, now the price, if you go to the Sony Co UK or Sony.com, it's around 1,000, but you can get a deals for around 700, sometimes 600, sometimes 700, some 650 euros, or it's like $750. So you can get it really cheap. So either way, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna leave this end and just say, if you want my comments on or comparing with some other devices, write in the comment list, subscribe, like. Let's meet in the new video. I make unboxing videos. There's hell of a lot of unboxing videos. Maybe there's some unboxing video suggestions somewhere here or here, so just press it, take a look. And thank you for being today with me. That was MDB Tech, signing off. Bye.